Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Cap Recovery Center. This is our Freedom Fridays meeting for today. And the article I have here is by drpatwilliams.com. So if you like this article, you can go to drpatwilliams.com. And the article I have here is 9 ways to create peace in your life, even when the world is in pure chaos. Let's hop into it. It says, yes, the world can be crazy at times, but you can cultivate your inner chill. Here is why. So there are many views and perceptions for us in this world. If you watch and read news, you may become inundated with the negative, the sensational, the political, and feel incredibly stressed or anxious. And yet the whole world is not that. There are many great and wonderful acts and human stories. You may have to search for them, but they are so uplifting. We need to be conscious of what we say to whom, and that the people and forms of communication we have in our lives are truthful and transparent. Even in news and movies we watch or in our conversations, sometimes we need to make choices to balance the media, the meme of violence, and the negative news with positive, uplifting media. From Falling Awake, Dave Ellis writes, moment by moment, we get to choose our conversations and community. What's at stake? An enormous everything we say, hear, watch, listen to, read, and see. No choices are more powerful than these. Here are 9 things you can do on purpose in order to have an extraordinary life, no matter what chaos exists outside of ourselves. So some of the things like talks about like the world can be up in chaos, or our families and our friends, they can have conflicts and chaos going on in their lives, but how to create our own life and our inner peace, right? So it's like not to focus. It's hard to focus on the stuff that goes on in the news and the media and the things that go around in the world, and not to focus on the negativity. There's a lot of good in life. I try to keep the focus on me and my family, my friends, and my network, and my circle of people, to focus on my life and not to focus on the negativity that goes around in the world, right? Because if I can get wrapped up in that, that can change my thinking, my perceptions, end up changing my behavior, right? So I try to stay positive and stay in the here and now and focus on what I can control and the things I can't control. It says number 1, it says have a target, a personal mission statement, a life purpose, or a compelling future that draws you toward your desired life. And this is more like an analogy, right? It says you can only prefer your future, not demand it. Planning and goal setting help, but remember that even airplanes are off target 90% of the flight. Lots of many adjustments are made to what is occurring in the now. So I was thinking of like the airplane, right? It's like it's going in the sky, it's going through the wind, and it can move through the wind, right? But the main thing is getting to the destination, getting to the target. So like what life can throw at you can make you uneasy, and can steer you off course, right? It can get you like upset and off your spiritual condition, right? So like our lives are like the wind. It can make you move you at any given moment, right? It can throw us off course. But like if I stay spiritually fulfilled, right, and if I stay in the here and now and focus on what I can control and not focus and don't focus on the things I can't control, right, I can live a peaceful life and not to focus too much on what the world is going through. Can really, really upset you, because it does me. Some of the things I hear and some of the things I see can really damage my spiritual condition. When I try to live in recovery and to have a peaceful life and live spiritually filled. Let's see, number Two, it says have an uncluttered life. Have an uncluttered life. This includes physical and emotional clutter. Do a clean sweep of unwanted things and then work on where and with whom you can be emotionally work on life's. It is said that, well, we all come with baggage. A true friend is what that will help you unpack. I like that. So, we all need a decluttering, that can be mentally, spiritually, physically. We all need to be decluttered at times. I'm a clean freak, I ain't gonna lie, right? So it's like I like things to be clean in a certain way and stuff like that. So I gotta focus like that on my spiritual condition. Like, how do I live spiritually, right? So I have a sponsor, I have a home group, right? I do step work, I'm in service, I do a lot of things. So my spiritual condition don't get cluttered, right? I try to live in peace and live not in chaos and conflict with myself, with others in the world around me. So like I need to always do a clean sweep of unwanted things, right? And that's negative thoughts and negative behaviors and stuff like that. So like I have to be mindful and aware to do a decluttering day by day, and that's like an inventory. What's good for me, right, and what's not good for me. So like I do a little inventory and see uh, what's going on with me and what's going on with my life. So like I always have to do a self assessment to see what like unwanted things I want to remove out of my life. It says live in the present. Sure, you have a vision and think about your future, but it's really unknown and made up. Even your story about the past is just a story. It has been said the past is a history, the future but is a mystery. The present is a gift. That is why it's called the present. I like that. I like that little saying. So a lot of these things are like analogies and quotes and stuff like that. Um, yeah, live in the present moment. That can be tough. That can be tough. Um, but I think it's a lot easier for my spiritual condition to live in the moment, right? If I'm keeping my focus on the past, right, and that's just my story it talks about. It's important, but I don't have to stay stuck there, right? So I can always prep for the future, right? But I don't live. Um, I don't live there. I don't stay in the future. I can always project. I can always think. I can always have goals and set. There's short-term goals, long-term goals, and like we set things, and so we want to have a good life. We want to have a good future, but um, I don't stay stuck in that. I try to live in the here and now, in the present moment, and try to control the things I can handle today. Because I can manage that. I can manage things in the here and now, in the present moment. I can deal with them head on until like I'm thinking the past and thinking the future, and I'm not like enjoying it the present moment. Right? We can get stuck like that, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for my family and my friends because it can change the way I'm thinking, the way I'm talking, the way I'm behaving. Right? I'm not enjoying life if I'm stuck in the past and focused on the future. So live more in the present moment. I think you would have less stress, anxiety, and depression. It can really uplift our mental state if we can just stay in the here and now. Number four says create a tolerant free zone. By choosing to not tolerate energy drainers, you can take action by doing something to take care of the toleration. Or you can just dump it. Forget it. Forget about it, especially if there's nothing you can do. Get it off your list, or you can delegate the challenge. Hire someone you can fix it or complete a task for you or take it off your radar. or delay it. Deal with it later, but don't worry about it today. By choosing to tolerate energy drainers, yeah, there's some people just can drain you mentally, physically, spiritually. It just drain the life out of you. Um, and that's where I like have to practice principles, patience and tolerance, and be loving and caring, empathy. So there's principles I have to apply when we have contact with energy drainers, and I just try to practice more principles and be more understanding when I'm talking with others that can just drain the life out of you, and I gotta set myself and my opinions and my judgment and my emotions and feelings aside and to be more loving and caring and try to be there for one another. But it's going to be hard when they are just draining the life out of you. What you can get less patient, right? Your tolerance gets thinner and thinner. And I've learned to, respond and react, because when we react, I'm going to end up saying something that is going to cause more harm and chaos and conflict with that individual or whatever situation I'm in. If I react, then respond usually doesn't end up too good. So like I have to be careful. Who do I interact with, and who do I have as friends and family, and who do I choose to trust and invite into my home and stuff like that. So because people can be draining, not just people, but things in the world. We talked about earlier about the news and the media and stuff that's going on in the world can be draining. It can drain the life out of you if I stay focused on all this negative stuff that goes on. That can really cause a lot of stress and anxiety and depression, and it can be tough. I can feed into the negative, right? And like that can ruin what's going on in the present moment, what's going on with me. So I have to be very careful to not get wrapped up in things that's just not healthy for me. Let's see here. It says, give yourself extreme self-care. Be good to yourself, not just nice, but extreme. Reward yourself with something that gives you energy rather than drains you of your energy. Get a foot massage, go to the beach, the woods, the mountains, or a lake. Go out for a special treat. Do this periodically, and you can build up yourself. So it says, give yourself extreme self-care. That's very important. I always say, not just in recovery, but like in life in general, like we have to put ourselves first a lot of times, to take care of ourselves, because if we're not okay, nothing else is okay, right? If I'm mentally, physically, and spiritually drained, I am no good to no one else, right? So like self-care is very important, and whatever you do for yourself, and always try to do different things. Like I like going outdoors. I like fishing. I like doing outdoor stuff to like really get my peace and serenity. There's things I don't know about nature and things outside that really 'cause I look at it now, like I really didn't enjoy the outdoors. I didn't enjoy anything in active addiction, right? It was my story is, using drugs and alcohol day in and day out, and my focus was getting another one, that getting one more. Like I focused on life and what life had to offer, and like nature and doing activities with my family and friends, and like just doing the want to call it so-called normal things in life, until I got in recovery. And like now I like to do stuff for myself, and I can enjoy life without using drugs and alcohol, right? But I've learned like I can't get caught up in the day-to-day grind of work and whatever the case may be, work, paying bills, this, that, this is going on, so I have to do and take a step back um, on a repeated basis that like I have to take care of myself. I got to take care of my spirituality. I got to take care of my peace of mind. And like I said earlier, like if I don't take care of myself, I ain't no good for anybody. Nobody, right? My family, my friends, my coworkers, you know, in the in the rooms of recovery, like I'm just no good if I don't take care of myself. Let's see here. Number 6 says understand the myth of work, life, and balance. Have a center point to come back to. Balance is temporary, but a practice of daily centering and coming back to balance creates a more steady sense of security. One of my sponsors said one thing I always kept in the back of my mind. He was like, we try to balance things in life. He's like, there is no balance. It's like if you do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. But I try to, for me, I try to spread myself through all areas of my life, right? So recovery must come first for me, right? Then you got work, then we got my family, then friends, and then I got my network and society and working on myself through step work. So I try to touch on all areas of my life so I don't have to go back and use drugs and alcohol, right? I try to stay spiritually centered, and there's things that I have to do in my recovery to stay clean. And I don't leave something untouched for so long, right? So I have to spread myself out, so I don't leave. Just to give you an example, like if I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm not going to meetings, right? So I'll leave. I don't do meetings for a long time, right? Because I'm spreading myself in other areas, right? I can end up relapsing because of that, right? So like I don't leave things untouched. So I spread myself out in all areas of my life so I don't go back and relapse, right? And that can get tough, right? That's why self-care is very important, right? Because we spread ourselves thin. Because we got the day-to-day things that happen in life, family, friends, recovery. We can get busy, but that's a good thing, right? 'Cause that's one thing I never had. I've never had a life that I have now. My life consists of drugs and alcohol. That's it, right? Until I put drugs and alcohol down and I got in recovery, I've gained so much, right? I gained so much when I surrendered and accept that I can't use drugs and alcohol. Let's see here. Number 7 says, say no and yes with conviction. It says, we get to clarify their purpose early on. Then when they have requests from others or demands of the job, they can consider the request of their time and energy. If it fits with their purpose, statements, and values, they say yes. If it does not, they say no. Or at least they can say, maybe, let me think about it. You can do the same exact thing. Many people do not tell the truth when others ask them to commit to something or help another. And the lack of naked communication costs them dearly. So I get out of this is like, we can say yes, 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 yes. And it's just not, we can't say yes to everything, right? And I learned that. We try to be yes men, right? And like that can make my life unmanageable. I say yes when I can commit to something. But if I can't commit and I can't deliver, I will not commit to something. I would say maybe. I'll see how the week goes, or you know what I mean. So like, but when I do make a commitment, just for me, I deliver. I state that commitment. And if life, listen, life shows up when we make commitments and stuff like that. Um, Life happens, right? So I will call that person or whatever situation is going on and let them know, hey, I can't make it, right? So and like I'm not afraid to say no today. If I can't commit to something It's okay to say no because we can people please, right? And that can get us in trouble, right? If we say yes, 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 it's just not it's not realistic that we can say yes to everything, right? And I've learned that too in recovery. Like in early recovery, it was like, yeah, yes, I'm gonna do everything, do this, do that, and like I'm making my life unmanageable just saying yes to everything, right? And these are I can say yes to good. These are great things and good things, but like I'm not taking care of my mental state, right? If I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this and doing that. Like now I'm left, and that's what we talk about self-care. Like we have to take care of ourselves, not say yes to everything. It's okay to say no, and it's just like the boundaries, right? Know when to say yes and know when to say no. It's okay to say no, right? And we don't have to say yes to everything. So number 8, choose to underpromise and overdeliver. This is a hallmark of the coaching profession, and that of professional business development. It does not mean to make promises or commitments that are not well conceived or important, but it does allow one to have some leeway. For example, if at work you are asked when you can come, you can have a proposal on your supervisor's desk. State you can have it in a week and deliver it 5 days. Do this instead of promising something you can't deliver, or that will not be polished and ready for review. I'm sure you can think of many areas in personal or life where this same strategy can be helpful. It says choose to under promise and over deliver. So what I kind of got out of that is like, something that you say promise and what you're going to be delivering. Just make sure you can uphold your bargain on it. Like, oh, I can get it done in a couple of days, and then it's like 2 weeks later, right? Don't overextend yourself when you're going to fall short. Don't set yourself up for failure, right? Because sometimes we just want to look good and say, yeah, we can do it, but then we can't fully, we can commit, but we can't deliver, right? So we fall short. We can set ourselves up for failure. We want to be good employees or be a good coworker, a good family member, a good friend. We want to, do good in life, but if we overextend ourselves and we can't deliver on our behalf, and we always say yes when we really should be saying no, right? Or something vice versa. We should be saying yes, but we say no because it can be fear based, or we feel that we're not good enough, right? Or we're inadequate, So like when I make a commitment, right, and when I promise something, right, I do it, right? I commit, I deliver, and it builds character, right? I'm not going to spread myself thin and not going to set myself up for failure, and then I'm going to look like a dummy. It's like, so like I try to have these healthy boundaries today. Like if I just can't do something, if I'm not, some things we're just not capable of doing. We need practice. We take some work to do certain things. I'm not just going to say, yeah, I'll do it. And then like I screw something up. It happens like that, but like that's just not me today, right? I can honestly say like, I don't know how to do that, or I can't do that. Will you help me? I'm not just going to say yes because I want to look good. Number 9, it says respond, do not react. It says, this is the living less and stressful life on purpose. As humans, we have a natural built-in reaction of flight or flight, but our evolution always allows us to pause for a brief moment and survey the options that may be available to choose instead of a knee-jerk reaction immediately. Even first responders and emergency professionals are trained to react with responses available. They quickly certain choices based on their training instead of less trained person reacting with fear, paralyzing fear paralyzes interactions or unhelpful action. To design a preferred personal future, you need to have a plan and yet be present life's natural flow. Our lives are shaped by fears, attachments, addictions, unmet needs, procrastinations, and tolerations, like barnacles on the hull of a boat. We must have an annual cleaning and medium for smoother sailing. Clean up your clutter, unfinished business, and unwounds. Orient your life around your values and gifts. Be observer of life. Be curious, learn what you are having the opportunity to learn. It says so respond, do not react. I think we talked a little bit about that earlier. Um, I know for me that like when I respond and not react, like I have more healthier uh, relationships with my friends, my family, my coworkers, um, the people I work with here at Cal Recovery Center. Um, because I know when I react, I say some not nice things, right? So when I respond, I can really take a look back and practice the pause button and like think before I talk or think before I act. I have a lot better of outcomes of the situations and what I say and what I do. Um, because my past experiences showed me like when I react, I usually cause harm and conflict. And that's something that I'm not trying to do today in recovery. Like it's a lot better to just, sit back and do an assessment and like really think about what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do. And sometimes I have to run it by people in recovery, right? I have to run my ideas and my thoughts. I have to run it past someone before I uh, act on something because you know I'm in recovery. I'm not perfect, right? And I'm not all well, so I need help from other people, and I have to run it by my sponsor, my network, my coworkers, my family, my friends before I do something. But recovery has taught me that I can make better choices today. I can make a lot better choices today, but I always need a different opinion. I need a different perception. I need a different outlook on things because I can't go through recovery off my own juice. It usually doesn't end up too good, and I know I live more spiritually centered and peace if I respond and react. But that takes practice. I'm still working on that today. That just doesn't happen overnight, just like everything else does. I have to work on that on a daily basis. But that was our article for the day: 9 ways to create peace in your life, even when the world is in pure chaos. Like I said earlier, sometimes the life in the world can be chaotic and a lot of negativity, right? But like I don't try to stay focused on that. If I stay focused on the chaos and conflict in the world, usually I'm not living in peace and harmony with reality and can have anxiety and stress and depression. So I try to focus on the here and now and what I can control and stay in the moment, stay in the present moment. Well, my name is Carl, I'm a recovery coach here at Catholic Recovery Center. Until next time, we'll see you later.